On the morning of October 9, 2025, the world awoke to astonishing news. Initial reports were fragmented, a chaotic torrent of social media posts showing smoke plumes against the Moscow skyline before official channels could respond. The conflict in Ukraine had not just reached Moscow, but had struck at its very heart. For years, the war was a distant reality for most Muscovites. This was an undeniable intrusion into the sanctum of Russian power, shattering the carefully constructed illusion of security. The target was the IQ Quarter, a gleaming complex of skyscrapers. Valued at $1.5 billion, it's more than a symbol of power, it's a critical nucleus of the Russian state apparatus. It houses key government ministries, serving as the administrative and digital backbone for the nation. Crucially, it's home to the Ministry of Digital Development, responsible for cyber defenses, alongside the Ministries of Economic Development and Industry, the key nodes managing Russia's war economy. An attack here is not symbolic, it strikes directly at Russia's ability to coordinate and govern. By targeting these specific functions, the operation aimed to paralyze the nervous system of the Russian government. What unfolded was a meticulously planned, multi-domain operation. Electronic warfare assets blinded Russian air defenses, creating an invisible corridor for aerial platforms and covert ground forces. They acted in concert with swarms of autonomous systems that overwhelmed the complex's physical security, a coordinated assault of air, ground, and cyber power. This was a surgical strike designed to dismantle a key asset and prove that in an age of digital access and tactical innovation, distance no longer guarantees safety. The message was clear: no place is invulnerable. The strike on the IQ Quarter wasn't just an attack on a building, it was an assault on the very idea of the Russian fortress. In the pre-dawn darkness, the battle began not with a Ukrainian attack, but with a desperate Russian attempt to stop one before it could even start. At precisely 2:17 a.m., Russian commanders, acting on what they believed was solid intelligence, gave the order to fire. From concealed positions near the river, their forces unleashed a massive preemptive barrage. The night sky ignited as dozens of BM-21 Grad launchers hurled a storm of 122mm rockets, aiming to blind and disrupt the command and control nodes of the anticipated Ukrainian assault. Simultaneously, Kh-31 anti-radiation missiles screamed towards suspected Ukrainian radar and surveillance outposts, homing in on their electronic emissions. Overhead, a pair of advanced Su-35s patrolled the skies, a formidable presence ready to intercept any drones or missiles that slipped through. But the storm of steel and fire found nothing. The barrage struck empty coordinates. The intelligence was not just flawed, it had been masterfully deceived. Ukrainian forces had deployed a sophisticated network of electronic decoys and dummy emitters. These devices mimicked the signatures of high-value targets, creating a ghost army that coaxed Russian defenders into revealing their exact firing positions and wasting precious, high-tech munitions on phantoms. It was a textbook execution of Maskirovka, the art of military deception, turned back against its masters. Inside Ukrainian command bunkers, the gamble paid off. Every Russian launch and missile flight path was a beacon, providing a priceless, real-time map of enemy positions. The preemptive strike became the first domino toward the complex's capture. Minutes later, at approximately 2:25 a.m., a stealthy Ukrainian assault began. Bober, ERIJ, and UJ-22 drones slipped into Moscow under 300 feet to avoid radar. Some carried explosives, others executed electronic warfare and live mapping. Simultaneously, unmanned ground robots moved through service and sewer tunnels. They deployed microsensors to generate a structural map and locate Russian units. Aerial drones acted as the operation's eyes, relaying targeting data and defenses. Ground robots provided the infantry's blueprint from the foundation up. Before the kinetic assault, Ukraine achieved information dominance. The field was set by the hum of motors and the invisible flow of data. As drones swarmed the IQ Quarter, the battle moved to the electromagnetic spectrum. By 2:40 a.m., Russia activated a Krasika 4 super jammer. Airwaves turned chaotic. Its aim, sever drone control, blind, and crash them. Ukrainian planning anticipated jamming with pre-programmed autonomy and evasive waveforms. The drones switched frequencies, hopped the spectrum, and navigated through noise. One drone, following its route, skirted the southern tower. It broke a 15th floor pane and detonated, carving a vertical breach. The blast marked the kinetic phase and began dismantling defenses from within, proof that Ukraine had won the opening electronic duel. The 15th floor detonation triggered a more destructive phase at 2:48 a.m. MiG-29s entered the zone around 30,000 feet, masked by decoy pods. Russian radars saw ghosts as decoys cloaked the real approach. From cover, the jets released Scalp EG missiles, skimming under 200 feet. Their targets, communication nodes on adjacent rooftops, the city's digital nervous system. At treetop level, Mi-24s followed the Moskva River to strike BMP-3s. Precision rockets wrecked armored positions and ground formations. A hidden S-300 tracked 2 Su-35s, one evaded, the second disintegrated in a fireball. In minutes, a secure air corridor over Moscow was forged. With skies secured and comms disrupted, the ground assault began at 3:05 a.m. Under smoke and debris, teams pushed into the subterranean levels. Equipped for close quarters, they carried M2 Carl Gustaf and light armor. T-72 M1 tanks provided standoff precision guided by drone coordinates. Each round cleared a path, eliminating threats before exposure. The smallest assets delivered the biggest edge, man-portable recon drones. They scouted rooms and corners in real time for meticulous breaches. Room and stairwell by stairwell, defenders were neutralized. By sunrise, the lower 5 floors were seized and held. As Ukrainians consolidated, Russian command launched a counteroffensive at 4:15 a.m. Formidable K-52s lifted from 25 miles west, fast and low. They used the skyline for radar cover, hunting drone hubs and relays. Rockets and laser-guided missiles pounded suspected command posts, but Ukraine used a distributed network with decoy emitters broadcasting false signals. Pilots expended munitions on empty rooftops and non-critical structures. EW teams tagged a helicopter that climbed too high. An S-300 fired. Seconds later, the gunship was down. The rest aborted, outmaneuvered by electronic tactics and layered air defenses. By 5:30, with lower levels secure, Ukraine unleashed compact combat robots. They crawled ducts and corridors, armed with jammers and EMP charges. Internal security systems, cameras, locks, alarms, fell one by one. A rooftop special forces unit held with remote weapon stations. 2 wall-crawling robots ascended unseen and placed shaped charges. A triggered blast collapsed the eastern perimeter, silencing the stations. In maintenance tunnels, pre-positioned FPV drones ended organized retreat. At 6 o'clock, loudspeakers broadcast surrender. As dawn broke, a Ukrainian flag rose over the tower. The image flashed worldwide. The assault on the IQ Quarter was a profound statement about the changing character of modern warfare. This complex, a symbol of Russian power housing critical command nodes, was long considered untouchable. This attack proved the old rules of engagement are being rewritten. In under 10 hours, a campaign of synchronization, deception, and tech superiority dismantled its fortifications. It wasn't a brute force assault, but a symphony of coordinated actions, creating a cascade of failures within the Russian defense network. The traditional concept of a front line is fading. Today's decisive battles are fought for control of the electromagnetic spectrum. The new front lines are defined by digital access and information dominance, where seeing without being seen is the ultimate advantage. This was textbook multi-domain warfare, air, ground, cyberspace, and spectrum seamlessly integrated. Swarms of drones mapped interiors in real time, while autonomous robots reconnoitered corridors. Electronic warfare created blind zones for Russian sensors, and precision missiles severed critical command links, decapitating the leadership structure. The aftermath left Moscow with a chilling question. If this heavily defended facility can be neutralized so effectively, is any command post truly safe? It exposed a fundamental vulnerability in Russia's static, centralized command structure. Static defenses are vulnerable to agile, distributed, tech-driven threats. The battle for the IQ Quarter will be studied as a pivotal turning point. It signals a shift from wars of attrition toward an era of surgical strikes, rapid innovation, and technological mastery. The lesson is clear. In the 21st century, no center of power is beyond reach.